Hey, what's up? How you doing? So, think think is the most important ability in your life, and this is no doubt. I have 100% confidence in that. You need ability to think well. Well, I was really bad at thinking. I wasn't really good at it. Um, I was so I had so much difficulty to think deeply and think something out of a certain fact. That is my vulnerability, and that was my weakness. And I'm not saying I'm perfectly get over it, completely get over it, and I'm I'm a really good thinker. I'm not saying that, but getting better at thinking is literally life changing skill learning. So if you try to think and you stuck in the middle, and you typically you usually give it up and quit in the middle of thinking, that's a sign you need a development of the thinking skill. I used to try to think something out. For example, try to come up with idea for some creation, like I try to write um, short novel, short essay, and try to think. And I usually stuck in the middle of the development, the middle of comprehending the idea, try to put it in a paper, and I couldn't do it, and I stuck it and I quit it in the middle of it. And it happened it happened really it happened many times. It happened almost every time I try to think something. And I quit it. After I quit it, I switched to something passive activity, like watching TV, watching movie, and playing video games, and something that is I don't have to use my brain to do something. I just choose. I just chose to get me into the passive media, so that so I could have something, passively processing something. So I get something to do. You was just watching, you just passively receiving the information. But that wasn't me, and it didn't help me develop that skill of skill of thinking, and that is not good. And once I had a job, my ideal job, that was the web designer, and it was all about creating websites and managing websites, and the designing the website for target users, and I need to develop the idea. What is the best form? What is the best structure of the website for the target users, and to take the information I try to give. And in order to do that, I have to think. And the one thing outstanding in the experience is, if you have something you like, if you have something you love, if you dedicate yourself into something you like. That will help you to develop the ability to think, because it will push you back towards the wall of the thinking, the blockage, the barricade of keep you stuck before breaking through that comprehending idea, the thinking process. And there is some kind of wall you have to get over to be able to think better. And the thing you love actually push you get through the wall. So it's important to find something you love, and it's through that thing you gotta get ability, you gotta develop the process of thinking, the ability of thinking better. And once you get better at thinking, your world will open, your world will be changing. Absolutely, it's it's quite promised. I can say that if you develop the skill of thinking, your world will change. And without ability of thinking well, you don't get anything. Without ability of thinking, you won't appreciate any valuable thing. If you just keep watching TV or media, the passive media, you won't be able to develop your skill to have your own thought, have your own idea, and that will kill your future. So you gotta have skill of thinking. And it doesn't matter what kind of subject you like, but through that subject, you gotta develop the ability of thinking. And once you develop it, I think you you have already opened the door. So for your bright future, get out of the passive media and think by yourself. Think out by yourself and have your own idea, have your own thought. You know, you believe something or you have a thought, but it shouldn't be just because someone else says so. It shouldn't be just because they're telling you to. But you gotta think by yourself. You gotta have your thought. You gotta have your own idea. You gotta have your own reasoning, not just because somebody else is comparing thought. They say something, and you agree with it or disagree with it just because of your own reason. You gotta do your own fact check. You gotta do your own research. You gotta do your own idea development. Using AI is really helpful for you, but you gotta think by yourself. Not just because AI told you something. That is not a good reason. You gotta think if if the if the information AI responds is rigid or not, is sound or not. You gotta think by yourself and determine by yourself. So anyway, the ability of thinking is important for your life, and it is the key to open your door to the bright future. That is my message today. Thank you for listening. Better habit, better life, and your habit will honor. I love you guys. I see you in the next episode. Peace.